long before Akaru was fertile, before children ran through green fields, before the drums began to call the grieving, a woman was buried alive beneath the Baobab tree. She was told she would be protected. She was not told she would be the protection. And the forest has been collecting payment ever since. Years passed after Amara walked away from the forest. The drums stopped. The disappearances ended. The Baobab stood still again. But Elder Bako was dying, and dying men do not keep secrets well. Bako had grown thin. His breathing was shallow. The village gathered outside his hut, not because he was powerful, but because he knew things older than their grandparents. Amara sat beside him. "You said the forest belonged to something older," she reminded him. His eyes opened. "It does, but we called it first." Generations ago, Akaru was not green. It was dust. The sky withheld rain. The wells cracked open. Children starved in their mother's arms. The founders entered the forest in desperation. They found something ancient. Not a monster, not a god. Something older than both. It offered abundance, fertile soil, rain, protection from famine, but it required balance. When the land begins to dry again, it said, one life will return to the earth. The founders agreed, publicly, but privately, one man feared the agreement. He did not want his bloodline at risk, so he made a second arrangement. There was a young woman in the village, Nala. She was promised marriage, protection, a future. On the night of the ritual, she was led to the Baobab tree. She believed she was being blessed. Instead, she was buried alive beneath its roots. Her screams were drowned by the drums. The rain came the next morning. The soil turned dark and rich. The famine ended. Akaru flourished. And the founders told their children, the forest saved us. They never said how. Elder Bako's voice, the pact was not clean, he said. It was twisted. Because the first offering was betrayal, the forest did not take randomly. It began to collect those who carried similar emptiness, grief, loneliness, abandonment, the emotional echo of Nala's final moments. That is why it hunts the grieving, Bako. It feeds on space. Amara felt cold. So the founders knew. Bako's silence was answer enough. Some of them did, he said, and they passed the secret down. Not to protect the village, but to control it. Because if famine threatened again, they would choose who the forest would take. Quietly, carefully, usually someone with no strong family, no loud defenders, no one important. Amara's breath. It wasn't spirits choosing, she said. It was people. Bako nodded. The forest only keeps the contract. Bako's eyes sharpened one last time. The man who betrayed Nala, he said, was my ancestor. The room went silent. I have guarded this truth my whole life, he said. I thought silence protected the village. His breathing grew. But silence is what feeds it. Outside, clouds gathered. The wind shifted. The baobab's branches moved for the first time in weeks. Before he died, Bako gave Amara a small wrapped bundle. Inside, old carved symbols, the original pact markings. If the contract is destroyed, he said, the forest loses its claim, but the land may lose its blessing. That was the final dilemma. If they broke the pact, the famine could return. If they kept it, someone would always be taken. Amara stood beneath the baobab that night, alone. She dug at the roots, not to find bones, but to find truth. The soil was darker there, heavier, as if it remembered. She placed the carved symbols into the hollow and set them on fire. The wind rose violently. The tree trembled. For a moment, the ground felt hollow beneath her feet, a distant echo, like something exhaling for the last time. Then silence, deep, absolute. The next rainy season was uncertain. The crops grew, but slower, less abundant. The villagers worked harder, shared more, prepared better. No one disappeared again. The drums never returned. The forest grew quiet, not hungry, just watching. In Akaru, the land still feeds the people. But now, when the sky withholds rain, they do not look to the forest. They look to each other. Because the most dangerous spirits were never buried beneath the tree. They were buried inside the men who called betrayal protection. And greed always finds something to sacrifice.
From the heart of the village, a story rises. With a like, a share, and a subscribe, these tales will linger. Tales that linger.